It's fall, and your annual IEP letter has arrived in the mail. Familiar envelope, familiar handwriting on the envelope, except this year it reads just a little bit different. Because tucked inside is a new topic of discussion: the middle school transition. What services will look like, what the class structure will look like, and what changes. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what that transition conversation means, how to walk into that meeting prepared instead of blindsided in a way that completely changes the way you've approached IEPs in the past so that your student is set up throughout the middle school years for success. Hi, I'm Michelle, founder of the Clarity Consultant, and I help parents of neurodivergent children navigate transitions, especially ones that nobody warned you about. For the past few years, the IEP system has felt like a bubble, bringing in everything to the school system that they could provide to ensure academic, social, intellectual, and the safety protections your child needed. With the transition into middle school, some of those bubble protections are going to pop. Right now, you've likely had one dedicated teacher who knew every trigger, every accommodation, and every warning sign by heart. That's about to change. In middle school, your child moves between 5 or 6 different teachers, each one only seeing them for one period a day. That built-in protection, the one person who catches everything, thins out really, really fast. Multiple teachers, multiple classrooms, more direct exposure to situations you've probably worked hard to shield your child from. For some of you, this is going to be something you want to rebel against right now. We built the system. It's working. Why are we going to change it? And here's the honest answer. We're changing because your child is growing, and we need to grow with them. For us, growth looks like testing the temperature of the water. That's what scaffolding is. We're building a new way of doing things that honors the old system while making space for the new one. One quick clarification before we go any further. We are not discussing your child's 5th grade year in this conversation because you've likely already had that conversation. IEPs are built around what's coming, not what has already happened. So your 5th grade services, those minutes of support, the therapies, all of it were likely discussed and finished, locked in during your 4th grade IEP meeting. Of course, if this is your first or maybe even your second IEP meeting, maybe you've gotten a new diagnosis, a new disability arriving in the 5th or 6th grade, this might be the perfect time to bring in an advocate, which is one of the services that I offer. But for most of you, this conversation is entirely forward-looking, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. In previous IEP meetings, you learned how to set the tone for the room. This year, we're introducing something new, making sure our student's voice is legitimately heard. Now, you might be wondering, how do we do that? The first step is we sit down and have a real conversation with our child, and we help them write a letter to the IEP team. It can be simple. My name is blank. My favorite subjects in school are blank, blank, and blank. My friends are, and when I grow up, I want to be blank. That simple introduction of your child's voice into this element not only honors what their approach and long-term goals are, but it brings the solid sound of who they are as a person, reminding your IEP team as you transition to middle school, this is our focus, not you, not me, not the budget. This student, this IEP is about them. and this is their voice. Once your student's voice has been shared, we want to clarify our own voice too, but differently this time. In the past, we were listening, we were learning. Now that we actually understand, we are advocating with previous experience under our belt, of course. We come in as a professional parent of our own child. Here are the areas of success in the past. Here are the areas that we need to work a little harder to pay more attention to. And we'll focus this based on the specific services that we know will best benefit our child. Because of this, I want to see these services in this format as we move forward. And if that isn't possible, how will we handle this? You see, by anticipating the structure of what we're going to be dealing with, we get to guide and direct what services are available to our child in the next tier of their educational format. Once the team has revealed their transition model setup for your student, this is your moment to offer suggestions for safeguards around specific concerns you may have. For example, if your student has a history of wandering or elopement in new spaces, you might want to propose to the team a transition checkpoint system. If they're leaving the math class and headed to gym, the math teacher watches them as far as they can go, or as far as they can see them. The gym teacher makes note of when they arrive. If the student has not arrived by the warning bell, well, the gym teacher is going to check in immediately with the math teacher. If the math teacher saw them leave, but the gym teacher never saw them arrive, the safety system activates immediately. No time lost. Understanding, of course, that you can plan this to be a short-term protocol with the hope that your child will adapt to their new setting and not need eyes on them all the way through the school year. Now, of course, not every student is an elopement risk. So here's a second example just to ponder for a moment. With a dedicated teacher, one missed assignment was caught fast. With 5 or 6 teachers, that oversight splits 5 or 6 different ways. And a new teacher means new opportunity for things to slip through. You might propose a daily log or a daily journal kept between your student and maybe their homeroom teacher. Not an app, not extra work piled on to an already overworked staff member. Just a tool that supports your student the same way a mobility aid supports someone who needs help getting around. Pair that with a periodic email check-in between you and staff rather than a daily contact so that everyone is aligned without adding additional pressure. And here's the shift in mindset. This isn't one more task on your plate. It's an opportunity. These are the adults who will see your child every single day, navigating the nuances of teenage experience. Building a real relationship with them expands your community around your neurodivergent child. People who know your student and pay attention to your child, who are on your team. These are just a few examples. If you need help framing safeguards and protocols specific to your own child's situation, this is exactly what I do in the 90-minute one-to-one strategy session. And before we close, I want to leave you with this. Everything you've built up to this point isn't disappearing. It's not being erased. It's just changing. And it's adjusting, the same as we've adjusted to the changes of our child. And change is good. If you're heading into a middle school transition meeting this fall, I want to have you walk in leading, not chasing. Book your free 90-minute strategy session with me. The link is in the description box. And until I talk to you again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.